This is what you should know if you need to break your lease early. There's a variety of ways to go about this, but it really depends on the reason as to why you're breaking the lease. If I wanted to break my lease for whatever reason, the very first thing I would do is go to my lease agreement. Your lease agreement, there's always a section in there that tells you what the consequences or the penalties will be for you wanting to break your lease. And this part is where the reasoning comes in. Some people may break their lease for, let's say, a rodent issue or anything to that extent. So it really just depends on the reason as to why you're breaking it. And the reason being is because certain things that are a violation of your lease, say, for example, there's a violation on your landlord's side for, like, let's say maintenance, things that they were supposed to upkeep and they did not. At that point, that could help your argument. Your lease clearly outlines what things fall under your scope of responsibility and what things fall under your landlord's scope of responsibility. So I would read that part heavily before you sign the lease, and definitely in the case of you wanting to break the lease. Second, communication plays a big part in wanting to break your lease. Sometimes you're fortunate and you get those property managers that are that love to communicate and will work with you, and then sometimes you have the ones that doesn't really want to budge much. Some of them will say, if you want to break the lease, that's fine, but maybe we'll keep your security deposit, or you'll have to pay so and so amount to get out of it. Or a lot of times they give you the option to sublease, which is basically finding another person to take over your lease. However, if you are breaking your lease for something that is not your problem, meaning something that the landlord has violated, you should definitely be able to break your lease without losing or forfeiting your security deposit, and being able to break free without it counting against you. All in all, your lease agreement is going to tell you everything you need to know as far as breaking your lease. The terms are different for everyone. They always have a clause about it in the lease agreement. So read that, and then at that point you can decide which route you want to take and what the penalties will be for certain things. But again, if it's something that's outside of your scope, then it should be fairly easy to get out of it. But if it's something the landlord violated, then that would work in your favor as well.